Hello everyone, welcome to Nareen's Life with MS. My name is Nareen and it's time for a Truthful Tuesday. So this Truthful Tuesday, I wanted to talk about something that at least I absolutely love, which is, certain hobbies that, we engage in doing, we like doing, maybe some habits that we have, which also turn out to be our pet peeves. And so there is both the idea that we like doing it, but then on the other hand, because it is a pet peeve, it is something that we don't exactly like. Where we end up being in quite the catch 22 when it comes to dealing with this hobby slash pet peeve. For me, that hobby or pet peeve, because it definitely is both, is hoarding. I love hoarding, but at the same time, I can just, as I'm looking at my desk where my phone is, I can see that there is just so much stuff littered around, and it's just littered around because I have a tendency to just hoard everything. And thankfully it's not something where you know um, I have an issue like some of those TV shows where they show people who have like extreme cases of this, but it definitely is to the extent where I definitely raise my eyebrows looking at certain things that I might not have used in months, and I am, and still this item is maybe a little too close to my heart that I cannot dispose of it. So it just happens to be one of those truths that I have to bear, a truth that I have to deal with, and of course a truth that um, I have to pretty much agree to living. But with that said, it definitely is a truth that I have to live. And of course, the reason I discuss all of this is because a lot of times when we do have certain habits that turn out to be our pet peeves, or we have certain actions that we like doing that are our pet peeves, it tends to become a source of stress, um, especially when it either becomes too much to handle for us. Like for me, if the clutter gets too high a level, I mean, right now the tallest tower on my table is about, I'd say, yeah, about a foot tall, but I am pretty sure that it once it crosses that, I am definitely going to start stressing about it. But of course, because I do love hoarding, I will not want to dispose of anything, but it is also a pet peeve of mine. So there is that whole sense of stress, that whole source of stress that is being activated. There's all that stress that is pretty much developing. So with that said, I do want to know from you whether A, you do have a certain habit that is also a pet peeve for you, B, whether you have a handle on it or whether you do not have a handle on it. I mean, I'm maybe 50-50. Most days I feel like I have a handle on it, but some there are some days, especially days where I'm maybe overly stressed because of something or the other, that it just shows up that it just ends up becoming a source of stress? And of course, does that habit slash pet peeve cause you stress? So, of course, do leave your comments. And yes, how does stress impact you? Usually, one thing that I tend to find with stress is that I get tired a lot quicker, and usually, the one thing I want to do once I am tired, once I am at that level of stress, is I want to sleep. And of course, sometimes it's a little too early to do that. But with that said, of course, do share your comments, do share your thoughts, your insights, and your experiences so that we can get a conversation started. And do share what happens to be a habit and also a pet peeve that you have that you know just kind of feeds into each other and might become a source of stress for you. And with that said, I do hope you enjoyed this conversation on Thoughtful Thursday. But yes, um, considering it is nighttime here, um, all I can do is now wish you a good night, sweet dreams. Of course, I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.